I'm going to put this on YouTube. Everyone say hi. Hi. All right, here we go. So I'm going to restate some of the things I just said. When we start this is the finished product, right? This assumes that you have finished all the pieces that you need. And obviously, as you're making this, if you figure out that you don't have a piece that you need, you'll be able to just make it, and then you continue the process, okay? So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 8 unique pieces. If I go to my folder where everything is stored, it is... So I have my own folder called Automata Parts. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 unique pieces. I'm going to tell you right now that some of these, right, especially like the side, top, and top bottom, you might just make copies of, and you don't have to. Oh, when we get there, we'll get there. All right. So let's get started. Let's make a new one. So for making an assembly, first we're starting with a .iam, right? English units. Press create. Cool. And so we'll use this as reference if we need to. But now we're going to get started. So the first thing I want to place is my back piece. So my back piece is just this one right here. Okay. So this is the one that is it's the weird numbered, weirdly dimension shape. It's the one that's the 4.5. So thankfully, right, the way I labeled all of my pieces is I actually made, I named them what they're for, right? This is the back 4 by 4.5 piece, right? So I double click on that. Press open. And this is going to be very important. This is going to be the first thing that you write down. Okay. Is that, well, first off, this you probably don't need to write this down, but obviously when we're doing place, we're not placing from any of these. We're just doing the normal place. Okay. But the first thing we do is this moves around. We don't want that. We want to right click on it and ground it. And by grounding it, it basically removes or it fully constrains it in such a way where it can't move at all. So now, when I try to click and drag, it won't move. But when it's not grounded, I can move it. Right? So I ground it. We're good. If I press home, right, zooms in on it. Great. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start with the side pieces. Okay. So I go to place. And this is going to be the thing that's going to be kind of annoying, and I'll show you in a second what happens here. So you're going to see that this one already has Mr. Queenet's face on it. So something that happens is because these two pieces are the same piece, they're the same exact file, right? So if I open up the original file, open, and I go, oh, I got to go all the way back to it. It's in documents, it's in, and then I go to the side. So there's only one of these, right? If I open it, you'll see that it has a hole here, and it has this picture already on it. So I'm going to do a couple things to this, and you're going to see what happens here. So I'm going to get rid of this decal. Okay. Now check out what happens in the assembly. No more face. In fact, even in my original one, no more face. Right? Because they're all connected to the same exact file. Let's go back to here. I also want to get rid of the hole for now because does the hole look centered? No, but I can guarantee you that in the box itself, it is centered. And you're going to see exactly why. So I'll get rid of this for now, just to show you how we'll kind of work with that. So now we have this blank piece right here. We do File, Save. We go back to my assembly. And now we have my two side pieces. And we have my back piece that I can't move. No questions right now. Sorry. Oh, bathroom. Yeah, go. So we're going to constrain this now. So here we go. We got this. And remember, mates is the one where you have two things and they like get slapped together. Right? So we're going to constrain it here. I believe, let me check it again. Do you see how all the pieces come on the outer edge like this? Right? So, keeping that in mind. Oops, wrong one, sorry. So I'm going to make this piece to this side. Okay, that satisfying sound, that means we did something right, hopefully. Then I'm going to make these two sides flush. So the bottom of this, press apply. Bottom of this, back of this, press apply. And we look at it. Ooh, it looks pretty good, pretty good. Press escape for now. Now I'm going to do the click and drag test. I click and I drag it. If it's not moving, we're good. So now we're going to do the exact same thing with this one, with the other side. So I'm going to choose either face. It doesn't really matter which one I choose, right? So I could choose the back one. And that one is going to be glued to right here. And then I'm going to make these the bottom and back flush. So this bottom piece right here with this part right here. And then we want apply. Want this one and this one to be flush. Notice the flush constraint, right? Press apply. And get out of that. And let's go back to home. Bam. Looks great. When we do the click and drag test, it's good. Something else that might be helpful is go to view. I'm going to change the visual style to shaded with edges. And this way, it just lets me see where all the little edges are. Right? So if I zoom in a little bit there, you can see the edge. Cool. So now we are going to go to the top and bottom piece. And here's the issue I run into. Do you see how I have a top and then I have a top bot piece? Right? I need to cut holes in one of these, but not holes in the other one. So do you know why? Can anyone tell me why I needed to make two files?
There's going to be the hole for the followers at the top, and then at the bottom it's just one solid piece.
It's supposed to be one solid piece. If I put holes in one of the files, it's going to put holes in all of the files, and all of the top bottom files. So the way that I did this, and all I had to do is I just right clicked on this one, or sorry, I just clicked on it. I did copy paste, Control C, Control V, and then I just renamed it. I'm going to call this one bottom 4x5. So now I have my original one. I have a separate file for the bottom and a separate file for the top. This way I can edit one, right, and it won't change the other ones. So to show you what I mean, keep in mind, remember how these two side pieces are exactly the same, right? If I put a hole in one of these, I'm just going to put it in a random place right now. Extrude, cut, bam. Okay, so there's a hole in this piece, but this side 4x4.ipt is connected to these ones, right? And so I can't do anything about that, right? There's going to be a hole between both of them. Right now for me, this is fine for these two because they're symmetrical, but for the top and bottom, they're not symmetrical. So I'm going to get rid of this piece. There we go. We'll save it again just to make sure. Finish. Get rid of the sketch. Don't want to have extra sketches. Save. We go back to my assembly, and everything's good to go. Everything's normal again. Okay. So let's add in our top and bottom piece. So I go to Assemble, Place. We go to, I have a top one, and I have a bottom one. So let's do, I'm going to be using top bot 4x5 and my bot 4x5, and I'll show you why in a second. So my bot 4x5 is the bottom piece of my Automata. So I start here, do the same exact constraints I've been doing the whole time. So I want to make this one to the bottom of these faces. Press apply. And then I just need to make some of these flush now. So this will be flush with this, apply. This will be flush with this, apply. So anything that you see me do that you think you should write down, like just write it down. Be like, okay, in order to do this, I need to click this button and then these two sides. So now we're done there. Now, go back to top view. We're going to do the top of it. So go to place, go to top, 4x5, press OK. There we go. And then I'm going to just do the same constraints I've been doing. There. Okay. Apply. Make this side flush with this side. Apply. Obviously, I'm going fast, so if you're watching this, you can go on like 1.5 speed or like half speed. I guess 1.5 speed would be faster. So, and then we're good. And then we can do the click and drag test. Right, so we're good here. This is a nice, solid, just box. Now we're going to talk about adding in some of the different parts. We have to make all the different holes, right? So here's the thing that is kind of weird. Okay, we know that this piece right here that's highlighted, it is a box. It is a perfect square, 4x4. But if we go and look at it in here, is the distance from this line to this line going to be 4 inches? It's going to be shorter. And there's a way that you can measure exactly how long it is. If you go to Tools and you go to Distance, you can actually click, ooh, my voice just cracked, click on this line right here, and then click on this line right here. So this is 3.75. So I want someone to store that in your brain. 3.75. I need to make the axle in the center of that specific distance, right? Because that'll be in the center of my inside interior box. I don't care about the outside interior box. I need the inside interior box for that part to be centered. And now, check this out, okay? If you double click on a piece, you can actually edit that piece. So I'm going to double click. And now, see how everything, you've probably accidentally gotten to here before, right? Everything gets kind of shaded out. Now I'm going to actually just make a sketch here, and I'm going to make a hole. So I'm going to start a 2D sketch. This is the same way I've been doing everything before. I'm going to draw on this face. Now here's the harder part. I know my circle is going to be on this line somewhere, but I'm not exactly sure. So I'll make this, it should be 0.25. And then, how far should the center of my hole be from this line? Not 3.75, but half of that. So what I can do is do 3.75 divided by 2. So press enter. And it's pretty close, but that's good. Perfect. So we do finish. Great. And we can also even look at this one. That looks good. They're lining up here. And then we just go to extrude. And then instead of that, we're going to go to right here, cut. Press OK. And then we go to return. This is important. Return. And now we have a hole that is in the center of this box right here. So now we're going to do the top ones, right? So we're using square followers. So same idea. We just double click on the top. And I'm going to do a top view like this. And now I'm going to start a 2D sketch. So start 2D sketch. So what I'm going to do essentially is I'm going to make a bunch of lines so that I can be 100% sure that my followers are going to go exactly on this little axle line here. So I'm going to make a line like this. Let's go to the top. This line's going to be from this edge. See how it turned green? And then I'm going to make this that exact half distance. So it's 3.75 divided by 2. So now, right, if I make a line that is parallel to the edge of the box right here, anything that I cut into that side or cut into that that line, they're going to fall exactly onto my axle. So I'm just going to make another line from here. And remember, if it turns green, that means it's locking into something. So I click there. I make sure that I'm 180 degrees. I go all the way to the edge here. 180 degrees, great. And then I'm going to go back the way I came. Great. And these lines, they're just for me to know exactly where I'm going to put everything. So I'm using squares. So I'm going to do a 2-point center rectangle. For many of you, if you're just selecting this or just opening Inventor, you'll need to go to one of the options, so 2-point center. So I want the center of my rectangle, right, to be on this line. So I click. It's going to be 0.25 by 0.25. So I just did 0.25 tab 0.25. And I'm going to make another one. Right, make sure it's on that line. 0.25, 0.25, enter. And now I'm going to press escape. I'm going to use the dimension button to move them a certain distance away from each other. So I want them to be, how far should they be away from each other? You can choose. 2 inches? Does that sound good? Sure, 2. Yours might be different. You just have to measure it. So this one's 2. And now I also want to make them centered. So from here to here. So I have to do some math. My box is 5 inches long from there to there, right? These two are 2 inches away from each other. So I think this one's just going to be, let's make it, what would it be? Would it be just 1.5? There we go. That's good. So now this 1.5, this one will be important for later, but this makes it so that everything's kind of like nice and centered. That's good. So we'll do finish. And just like what we've been doing before, extrude. We're going to make a cut here and here. Press OK. Press return. And there we go. Does that look good so far? Looks nice, right? And if we kind of look at it, you can see that the hole, the axle hole lines up with the follower holes. And that's what we need to do, right? So with that one, you just have to be careful and be thoughtful about your measurements. So now we're going to start adding in the other pieces. So let's go to place. We're going to do the axle, so we'll just do one at a time. So my axle. I think my axle is 7 inches long. I just made it a random amount. So we go to constrain. For things that are circular, you can just mate the center lines. So see, make sure it's dotted like that. Center line. And you can do either one of these, doesn't matter. like that, press apply. And the other thing that I want is I want to make my axle flush with the other side of the box. So we will, it's a little hard to see. So I did the wrong thing, so I just do flush. There we go. And I go back. Great, and you can't see it right now, but I can rotate this as well. Cool. So now I'm going to get the handle on. So this is what my handle looks like. Yours might look different. It's going to involve the same steps. So we get that center line. We made it with this center line. Some of you, when you do this, it might actually flip around to the other side. It's fine. Just make sure the two sides that you need to be flush are flush. So for me, I need this side to be flush and this side to be flush. But if yours was flipped around, you could actually flush this side and this side, and it would flip for you. But for me, I got lucky this time. They are the right direction. So I can just click, oops, flush, do, apply. Great, almost there. If I move this, the axle doesn't move, we'll fix that later. So now let's add the cams in. Go to place. I'm doing 2 cams. And this is a special direction just for this project. For whatever reason, there are some weird things that happen with the animation part. So if you're having big issues using snail cam, hex cam, whatever other cam, just use an eccentric cam and I will accept that. Even if in your real project you're not using eccentric cams. Okay? So we have these two. I'm going to constrain. Same idea as before. These are circular. So we mate the center holes with the axle. And we also press apply. And we do the center hole of this one with the axle. Great. Apply. Let's look at it now. They are not even. Right? They're not in the right place. And I can move them. That's not good either. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mate them, but then I'm going to offset them. So I'm going to constrain. Let's mate this side with this side. Obviously, we don't want it touching the wall, but does anyone remember how far away our cam was, or this hole was from the wall here? It was like 1.5. Actually, but there's an issue here, so let's just check. So let's go to Tools, and we'll just measure. So from this line here to this line right here, it's 1.125. So that's the offset I need, is 1.125. So let's just do that again.
Because it was from the edge of the box.
Exactly. So, and then I do my offset. So let me zoom out so you can see exactly what's happening. So this is normally what mate does, but then I go to offset. It is 1.125. And it moves. And look, it's like perfectly lined up. Press OK. Apply. And we do the same thing over here. Here. And here. And we do 1.125. And now when I spin this, nothing happens. But if I do my moving test, right, it's staying on the axle, that's good. Everything's staying where it should be, and it's basically, it has the attributes I kind of want. The next part is probably arguably one of the hardest parts because we're mating planes that are internal to our object. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to start here. Notice when I click on the handle, in my browser, it also lights up. So let's clean this up a little bit, close these. So if I click here, handle lights up, go to origin. And I want to make one of these planes visible. The one I'm going to make visible is this one right here. For you, it might not be the YZ plane. You need the plane that basically goes through kind of the center of it, the one that it'll be rotating around. So I'm going to right click on this, make it visible. Do the same thing for this one. We go to axle here, go to origin, and we're just looking. Okay, this one doesn't look right. That one looks pretty good. So make it visible. And we need to do that for our cams as well. Just cleaning this up a little bit. Origin. That one is actually pretty, like, it doesn't really matter. Either one of these is okay. The one that would not be okay, though, is this one, right? That's not the way we want to rotate. So, sure, let's do this. So now we have all of these here. Notice how when I made one cam visible, the other one was automatically made visible because the files are connected. So now I'm constraining. With some of them, we can just easily constrain like the planes. And like Autodesk is cool with that. So now when I rotate this, you can see that my axle moves. Now, the other thing that's maybe a little bit harder is this one. So this one, it might work if you made it, but if it doesn't work, you can also go to angle constraint. So go to angle, we're gonna click on directed angle, and we'll click on this one, and either one of these. Press apply, and then this one, same one. They're the same direction. I'm gonna make this one 180 degrees, just to make it a little bit different. Press apply. You'll have to play with this angle to figure out exactly like which way you want to have it. So now, when I go back, look at that. Whew. We're almost there. We're almost there. So now the followers. There are some special rules with the followers, and I'll go through them right now. And if you ever have issues with them, just look at this video again and just use the followers that I created. Use the eccentric cams, and you should be good to go. So let's place the followers. Follower. Got 2 of them. And so now, with the circle ones, we would want to just mate the center lines. Are these circles? No, they're squares. So we're going to just mate the sides of them. Okay, so we constrain. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mate this side right here. And I'm going to mate one of these sides here. So we'll do this one. Press apply. And I'm going to mate this face with this face. Press apply. And let's zoom out for a second. And so now, obviously not the exact thing I want, but I can just move this up. And there we go. Right? It's not following yet, but that's okay. We'll get there. So we're going to do the same thing with this one. I'm constraining basically 2 sides of the square 3D object that we have. So here and here. Cool. And then I'm just kind of looking and like trying to get the other one. If for whatever reason it's blocking your view, just press cancel. There's this button called free move. You can click on it, move this over just a little bit, and go back to constrain. So now it's a little bit easier. I can constrain this side and this side. Apply. Some of you, when you constrain these for the first time, your shape might go sideways. Don't let that bother you. Just keep constraining it. It's fine. So now we're almost at the very, very last couple steps. So we want to get this thing moving all together. So what I'm going to do is going to go to constrain. So because I have a flat bottom on my follower, okay, and a round edge that it's following, instead of transitional constraint, I'm using tangent. It's right here. So this is the one I want, is outside. And check it out. This is what we're going to do. So we want to do the bottom of this one. Let's do this one first so you can see it. And we want to do the curvy edge of this one. Press apply. Let's do the bottom of this one, curvy edge of this one. And let's see what happens. So it didn't break, so that's nice. And let's get a nice view here. There we go. So we have our functionally complete automata, right? Some other things we want to do. I don't want to have these little planes here anymore, so I just go back into the origin. So I click on my handle, and now it's highlighted over here. Open it up, open origin, right click on the one that's visible, make it invisible. Go to my center cam, origin, make it invisible. And then the last one was our axle, so I can just click on my axle, make it invisible. So if you can imagine, for some of you who are just doing things that kind of just simply go up and down, we're going to add maybe a little square piece up here. You're going to put a decal on it, and you're like almost home free. So now, if you're in Mr. Kunak's class, some of you already have, this is me talking to the video now, pictures on it. In Mr. McNair's class, we did not do pictures yet. So I wanted to show you how to insert a picture in an assembly. Okay, so check it out. Let's do the back. So remember, when I double clicked on something, it allowed me to edit that thing. So I'm going to double click on this, and I'm going to follow the exact same process I did before for adding a sketch or adding an image. So I start a 2D sketch, click on it, and then I go to image. Let's see what images Mr. McNair has. Let's go all the way back. So we'll add this. Ooh, we probably don't want to add a bike GIF. We'll add let's this unicorn, because I like this unicorn. Put it on there. Right, remember the top right-hand corner lets you move it, and all the corners let you resize it. So I'm kind of like eyeballing it here. Make it like a little bit bigger. Trying to make it a little bit centered, something like that. We'll see. Then we finish sketch. To add the decal on, it is just decal, the picture, the face, press OK. Bam, look at that beauty. Press return. Look at that. Amazing. And you can do that for every single side. If you see up here, you can notice that the faces aren't don't have the picture on it. I'm not sure if you can do this, but I'm going to see if we can do this. Before I make the decal, so go back to decal, image, and I think with the face, we can click on multiple faces. No, we can't. It's just this face. So it's okay if your image doesn't have an image spreading across the entirety of it, right? So yeah, I see some little wood pieces here. That's not going to bother Mr. McNair or Mr. Queenan. I'm speaking for him. On this face, we can do it one more time, right? We just double click. I'm starting a 2D sketch, clicking on the face I want to sketch. And here you're going to see the pitfalls of using just one unique file, right? I'm going to put a picture on this face, and we're going to see how a picture is going to show up on the other face as well. So we do image. Oh, wait, did I start a 2D sketch? I did. Okay, we're good. So let's go back to, I think I want to go to downloads. Let me go to, do I have a Mr. Queenat one? This one? Yeah, here we go. Also small. Can't have that. There we go. Perfect. So kind of grab the top right-hand corner there. Now I have a really bad view, so I'm going to change my view for the view cube, through the view cube. Make this a little bit bigger. There we go. I want to post everyone's favorite teacher, right? Because we're trying to get 100% on this. So finish sketch, decal, image, face, okay, bam, return. But also notice, because these are connected files, it's also on the inside. That's not a big deal to me either, right? If you need to, like if you have an image on here that's not supposed to be on the inside, whatever, that's okay. You'll need to put an image on every single one of these sides except for really this bottom piece. But yeah, other than that, this is the completed Automata. So that is all, everybody. Let's do a quick number of questions. Are there any questions that need to be answered right now? Anyone else? Okay, so that is all. Everyone say bye.